Hey man, it's your favorite man in the world. It's Rod Thompson, the Credit Master. And once again, I'm back again. Like I said, I would do. I start posting videos. And again, like I said, I'm doing this because, I'm always giving credit advice out there. And I'm realizing that there's so many people still to this day, no matter how much information is on social media, they still don't get it. So I'm going to kind of put it into a layman term. I got over 25 years experience of this. I've been doing this type of credit for many, many years, like I said, over 20 plus years. So I learned a lot through trial and error. And so now at this point in life, I got so many hats and so many ways and strategies that kind of lets you take control of your own credit. And, no shade to none of you guys out there, but, you know, if you don't properly know how to use credit, credit can become debt. And so one of my strategies that I try to tell people, there's two type of people. There's creditors and debtors. Of course, you got debtors who consume everything. They take their money, they take their credit, and they buy things they think they need. It's a excellent way of becoming in debt. Always balled down, always held up. Your money is always tied up in the things that you buy and who you owe. Whereas the creditor mind, which is the mindset of a person that they use their credit for leverage, they use their credit to create income stream, passive incomes, all these different avenues that creates revenue. So the purpose I'm doing all this for is so that you can start thinking in the mind of a creditor instead of a debtor. And one of the things I want to talk to you guys about today is about purchasing a car. Okay, you're talking to a veteran when it comes to cars. I mean, even from as a kid, I ain't got no shame on guys. I used to steal cars when I was a kid, and got in trouble for all that. But as I got older as an adult, that love for cars never went away. So what I do, I upped my game up and I started doing the things that it took. One of the ways that I realized that you can get cars is through credit. So when I was at the young age when credit was not popular with anybody, I was already on it. I was already studying on it. I was always light years ahead of everyone else when it comes to this. So in my early 20s, I was already playing with credit. And I started buying luxury cars all the way back in my day. I don't had Range Rovers, I don't had F-150, Benzes, BMWs. Man, anything you can think of, I've had those luxury vehicles. So, but let me tell you how I got it, okay? Because one of the things that I see that it's a big problem with many individuals, you go buy a car, you go to the car lot, you go talk to a car salesman, and then they sell you a car overvalued. And what do I mean by overvalued? Well, the thing is that what you got to understand about when you go buy brand new cars or when you go buy a car, it loses, it has a certain amount of value that it loses once you go out the lot. Let's say you buy a brand new car, okay? Brand new car, 0 miles on it. As soon as you crank that car up and drive it off that parking lot, it loses 30% value, okay? It loses 30% value. Why is this? Okay, because it's called depreciation, okay? So depreciation is what the value of that car is worth on the resale. So let's say, for instance, you buy the car and a week later you want to turn it back in, you want to sell it to another dealership, or you want to sell it back to the same dealership. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you just paid $10,000 for this car. Well, to us, it's now only worth $7,000. Why? Because 30% of the value went away as soon as you purchased that vehicle. So me, myself, when I purchase vehicles, I have never purchased a brand new car. Why? Because you lose 30% from the time you drive off that lot. So why would I go buy a brand new car? Why would I buy a car that's going to lose 30% value? So now the next question you might be having in your mind, if your mind is rolling like, okay, that makes sense. Well, when should I buy a car? Well, this is what I always tell individuals. When you're buying a car, each year it loses. After that initial 30% depreciation, it's going to lose 5% each year ongoing for that first. So what am I saying? In 2 years, that car is 35% less than the original value for when you do it. So 3 years is going to be what? 40%, right? Okay. So now the car at that time is becoming stable, because why is that? It's only losing 5%. We already know a car's going to depreciate as you drive it from wear and tear anyway, right? All right. Okay, so now that car is going to lose 5% every single year. Now, if a car loses 30%, which is 30% of that value the first year. After that, it's 5 years. So when should I buy a car? You asking, Rob, when should I go buy this car? It should be after 3 years, because now it's depreciating at a good. So now when you buy the car, when you go to a car lot, it's already lost that 30% value. So that means you're not buying that. The reason why most individuals, you buy a car and then when you trade in, you're still upside down or you're underwater is what they call it, meaning that when you want to trade that car in that you bought, it's not worth what the trade-in value is because of that depreciation, okay? That depreciation is the cause of why when you bought it, you're paying more. You owe more for the car than what they're saying is worth. And you go, how can that be? Like, how's my car is less, I owe more than what it's worth. And that's because of that depreciation. So if you ever want to beat that out, you want to go and buy the car at least 3 years old. So right now it's 2025. So when should I be looking for a car? At least 2022, right? Right. So if you said 2022, you are correct. You are to not buy a car anywhere under 2022, because the only way that you're going to get the bang for your buck if you buy that car and you want to trade in and still where it holds its value around the worth of the market value is to buy at least 3 years old. So are y'all following me? Okay, cool. If not, man, hey, listen, hit me up and then I'll give you more game on it. But now let's get to this other part. There's another factor to this, okay? Stop going to dealerships to buy your car, all right? Many people making the mistake of going to the dealership to get financed. Now, understand, is the dealership your friend? You think they working in your interest? No, right? So why are you going to them to get financed? Now, it's starting to be broadly known a little bit, but you go to your own bank and apply. And preferably it'd be a credit union. There's so many credit unions out here right now. And the thing is with a credit union is that they are not there to charge you high interest rates the way you would if you was at let's say a dealership. They're going to give you whatever banks they have. That bank is going to come around and give you 12, 14%. Whereas the beautiful thing about credit unions is they're all about establishing a membership where they have a relationship with you out of the community. You got to think how credit unions operate. They operate as a community base. They're all about making working, relatable and working relationships with their members. So they're not there to knock your head in. They have to make money, but what they really need to do is have your relationship. They need to have you working with them and bringing as many products as they can. So the best thing that you can possibly do is, instead of going straight to the dealership, go to open up a credit union. Any one of these credit unions, Navy Federal, what are some other good ones? PenFed, all of those good credit unions out there. They offer very low interest rates, 5%, 3%, depending on what your credit is. If I were you, I would try to make sure that before you go to the credit unions, that if you got low bills, here's another secret, and I'm thinking about it. If you got low bills, then, if you got bills on your credit, you want to pay off those lower bills first, all right? Let's say you owe $500, $300. Pay those off before you want to go and get financing, because that's the difference between a higher or lower interest rate. It can make and break a lot of different price points that credit unions can offer you. So if you actually give them a very good credit, if your credit has very minimum things on it, like it's okay if you got a credit card and you owe $20,000 on a $30,000 credit card, that's fine. But if you have a $1,000 credit card and you owe $700, $800, that looks bad. So they don't want to see that. They want to see you basically have those type of small bills paid off first. Because if you have those paid off, then that's going to actually drive up your score. That's also going to give you a better interest rate. So I'm going to stop this video right now, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all another game, because I'm going to give you part 2 of this, and then we'll go from there.